Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam, thank you for being with us today. What happens when these minors that you're charged with supervising to some extent, what happens when they turn 18?
When they turn 18, we report that to DHS, and we provide a plan for them to access.
But they're out of your supervision at that point.
That is correct.
Okay, so just to clarify this for America, when we discuss unaccompanied minors, Americans envision a lost, frightened, abandoned, small child. And as compassionate children of God, every American wants to just hug that child and care for that child. But that's not the reality, America. What they're talking about here is not a lost and abandoned and a frightened small child. The vast majority of these so-called children, unaccompanied children, are actually undocumented, illegal young adults. They come into your system with whatever vetting. I'm not going to argue about it because you got no answers. They come into your system with whatever standard of vetting you're deciding that month to enforce. They get sent at expense of the American people. They get sent to their home of destination, recorded destination. They're 16, 17 years old. They're already short-timers in your system when they enter your system. And they're out, man. They're into the fabric of our country. They turn 18. They're gone. Of course, you say 81%. You chose your words very carefully. You're an intelligent American woman. Said 81% of the time you've spoken to the sponsor or the child. I would be willing to bet. I'm not going to ask you because you'll say you'll get back with us with that data. You don't know it. But I'd be willing to bet that 90% of the 81%, you spoke to some adult on the phone that identified himself as, yeah, I'm the sponsor. Yeah, that's it. Check that box. We've contacted either the sponsor or the child, who's not really a child. He's a 17-year-old young adult about to be out of your system. What does your department do with reports from local law enforcement, ma'am, when they're investigating criminal actions that include allegations of physical or psychological trauma or abuse for the young adults or so-called children that are allegedly under your care? What do you do? How many reports do you receive from local or state law enforcement across the country? Because these young undocumented adults are scattered across America, and they're coming into contact with local law enforcement. And I advise you, I already know the answer to this question, but I'd like to see what you have to say about it. What does your organization do? How frequently do you interact? Do you look at reports from local or state law enforcement that involve criminal investigations where your minor has been encompassed in that investigation in some way? Not necessarily as a suspect, perhaps as a victim of the circumstance of the criminal environment that they find themselves in.
Thank you, Congressman. ORR's custodial care ends when they're released to a vetted sponsor, so we do not track children. However, if law enforcement or CPS, if we become aware, we absolutely cooperate, support. It is local law enforcement and CPS that have the jurisdiction for children once they have been released from our care. If a call does come into the National Call Center reporting exploitation, abuse, We absolutely work with local law enforcement entities as well as the Office for Trafficking in Persons, DHS, et cetera.
I appreciate your response. Mr. Chairman, my time has expired. I yield.